Hello everyone. In today's class, we're going to see how to write maxima for programs for verifying whether the given series is convergent, divergent, or oscillatory. So we know a series is nothing but the sum of the terms of the sequence. We've learned what is meant by sequence. If you write these terms as u1, u2, etc., these are the terms of the sequence, then if you add them, that gives you sum of the terms, and this becomes a series. In fact, this is an infinite series, and these are all real numbers. So this is a series of real numbers. Then what is meant by nth partial sum of a series? Suppose if you take the first n terms of the series, u1, u2, u3, etc. up to un, if you sum this, then this sum is called as Sn, that is nth partial sum. So similar to this, we can say what is meant by first partial sum. The first partial sum is sum of first term. So your S1 indicates u1. What is the sum of second partial sum? Yes, that is S2. S2 is u1 plus u2. So your S1 is sum of first partial sum, that is only one term, u1. S2, sum of first two terms, S2. Then S3, that is third partial sum, which is given by S3, which is nothing but sum of u1, u2, u3. So sum of fourth partial sum is, so fourth partial sum is u1 plus u2 plus u3 plus u4. So in general, sum of nth partial sum is given by Sn. So corresponding to this series, we are writing partial sum. So this is nth partial sum. Similarly, what is n plus 1th partial sum? Yes, it is u1 plus u2 plus u3 etc. up to un plus 1. Sum of first n plus 1 terms of the series, that is Sn plus 1, that is n plus 1th partial sum. It goes on continuous. So we are having a sequence S1, S2, S3, etc., Sn, etc., which is sum of, which is a sequence of partial sums corresponding to this series. So what is S1? S1 is sum of first term, that is only one term u1. What is S2? Sum of first two terms. What is S3? Sum of first three terms. What is Sn? Sum of first n terms of the series. Like that, it goes on, proceeds. So corresponding to this series, we are having a sequence of partial sums. Now, when will we say a series is convergent? We knew convergence of a sequence. So we have to define convergence of a series in the same lines. But if you want to say a series is convergent, we have to see the behavior of the corresponding sequence of partial sums. So if summation un is the given series, and if sequence Sn is the corresponding partial sequence of partial sums, then this series is convergent if its partial sum sequence is convergent. So summation un is convergent provided this sequence is convergent. And we knew when a sequence is convergent, we knew that a sequence is convergent if limit as n tends to infinity, nth term, Sn, nth term of that sequence gives you a unique and finite limit. Gives you a unique and finite limit, then we say this sequence is convergent. If this sequence is convergent, then the corresponding series is convergent. So whenever they ask you to verify or to test the behavior of a series, then you have to see the behavior of the corresponding partial sum sequence. If the corresponding partial sum sequence is convergent, then the given series is also convergent. So similar to this, when will you say a series is divergent? Yes, a series is divergent provided the corresponding sequence of partial sum is diverging to plus infinity or minus infinity. That is, limit of the nth term goes to plus infinity or minus infinity. Then, when will you say a series summation un is oscillatory? Yes, of course. Here, there are two types of oscillation is there. One, finite oscillation, and the other one, infinite oscillation. A series summation un is said to oscillate finitely if the corresponding partial sum sequence Sn oscillates finitely. That means limit of this Sn oscillates between two finite values. Then a series summation un is said to oscillate infinitely if the corresponding sequence of partial sum oscillates infinitely. That is, limit as n tends to infinity Sn oscillates between plus infinity and minus infinity. So this is how you have to test the behavior of a series depending on the sequence of partial sums. So if you want to test the behavior of a series, you have to test the behavior of the corresponding sequence of partial sums. So what is sequence Sn? Yes, it is S1, S2, S3, etc. nth term Sn, etc. What is S1? Sum of first term of this series U1. So it is only one term, so U1. What is S2? It is sum of first two terms. What is S3? Sum of first three terms. What is S4? Sum of first four terms. So you can write this sequence like this within flower bracket. First term is U1, second term is U1 plus U2, that is your S2, S3, U1 plus U2 plus U3, what is S4? U1 plus U2 plus U3 plus U4, sum of the four terms of the series, that is your S4, etc. Nth term is U1 plus U2 plus etc. up to UN, etc. It goes on, proceeds. Now, let's see some examples for writing the maxima code, and also we'll solve them manually. The first series which we were given with is summation n from 1 to infinity 1 by n into n plus 1. So here you should note that your n is a natural number. Now, let us take this number as nth term. So let un equal to 1 by n into n plus 1. Now using partial fraction, you factorize this. Otherwise, it's not easy to solve this. So let us factorize this. Then after factorization, you will get 1 by n minus 1 by n plus 1. If you take LCM, this gives you n into n plus 1. And this becomes n plus 1 minus n. So n cancels, you will get this same. So by using partial factorization, we have done this. So your un is nothing but 1 by n minus 1 by n plus 1. So remember, this is nth term. Your nth term is 1 by n minus 1 by n plus 1. Now we know that if we want to test the behavior of a series, we need to see the behavior of the sequence of partial sum. So let us find what is nth term of that partial sum sequence. So what is your Sn? Yes, it is sum of first n terms, u1, u2, etc. up to un. So what is your u1 from this? Yes, it is 1 by 1 into 1 plus 1. Give n equal to 1, that's it. That is your first term of this series. Plus, what is u2? Yes, your n is 2. So 1 by 2 into 2 plus 1. What is u3? 1 by 3 into 3 plus 1, etc. What is your nth term? 1 by n into n plus 1. But we have factored 1 by n into n plus 1 as 1 by that term minus 1 by that term plus 1. So here, instead of n, we are having 1. So what is the factorization of this? If you simplify this, you will get 1 by 1 into 2, that's it. Plus 1 by 2 into 3, etc. So by using this, we can write this one as 1 by n minus 1 by n plus 1 plus, what you can write this by this formula. Here your n is 2. 2 into 2 plus 1, 3. So 1 by 2, 1 by n minus 1 by n plus 1. That is 1 by 2 plus 1, 3. Similarly, you can write this one as 1 by 3 minus 1 by 4, etc. 1 by n minus 1 by n plus 1. What is the previous term here? Yes, it is 1 by n minus 1 minus 1 by n. Now see, here you are having minus half, here you are having plus half. So these two get cancelled. Here minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3, they get cancelled. Minus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4. Here minus 1 by n plus 1 by n. All these get cancelled. So you left out with the first term, that is 1 by 1 is 1 minus last term 1 by n plus 1. So we have simplified, or we have factored Sn into this. So after simplification, now apply the limit. Limit as n tends to infinity Sn is equal to limit of this. As n goes to infinity, this becomes 0 and this becomes 1. So 1 plus 0 is 1. So what is the limit of nth term of the partial sum sequence? It is 1. Therefore, the partial sum sequence is convergent. Hence, the given series is convergent. This is what the conclusion we can draw. Now, let us write a maxima program for this. As usual, we start with kilol. Then you have to write the nth term. What is your nth term? 1 by n into n plus 1. So I'm giving nth term as 1 by, instead of n, I've taken I. So you are here because you know that your n has to run from 1 to infinity. So we'll run I from 1 to infinity. But initially, for finding the nth term of this partial sum sequence, we have to run this up to n. So that's why we'll run I from 1 to n to calculate this. So your un is 1 by I into I plus 1. Okay. After this, we know that we have done factorization of this. That is what we have done here. We have factorized this. So factorize this, so that your Sn can be stored with this factorization. So let's factorize using the command part frac, that is partial fraction of this with respect to I, un with respect to I. And let's store this in u. So we have stored this answer. We have stored this answer in u. But remember, after factorizing this, we have simplified this. And the answer is stored in Sn. So we have to simplify this to get this answer. So let's simplify this using the command simplify. But if you want to run this command simplify underscore sum, you have to load a package. That package is called as simplify underscore sum package. So you have to load this package, otherwise it will not simplify this. So load within double quote simplify underscore sum. After loading this package, right, first we'll find the sum. We'll find this sum. This sum we are storing in Sn. Sn is sum of u, this partially factored answer with respect to I from 1 to n. See, here I runs from 1 to n. Then after this, we'll use the command simplify underscore sum, the stored answer Sn, and that will be stored in S1. And after this, again partially factorize this, and that answer is stored in S2, part frac of S1 with respect to n. So partially factored answer will be stored in S2. But here there is nothing to factorize it. Now after this, now we'll apply the limit. will do this, will calculate this limit as n tends to infinity Sn. So L, we are storing the answer in L. Limit of this Sn is stored in S2 right now after doing all these simplifications. So limit of S2, and the variable is n goes up to infinity. We want to display this, so we have used semicolon. Then write this small p, and this one is also small p. We should not use capital letter. Maxima will not understand it. Print within double quote the given series is, comma, your given series is un. So this will un. Print the partial fraction of the given series is, after partial fraction, your answer will be stored in u. Now we'll verify depending on the answer, that is limit as n tends to infinity Sn, that is stored in L. If absolute value of L is infinity, if the limit of this is infinity, then we are using absolute value just to avoid the negative numbers. So if the absolute value of this is infinity, then we know that the given series is divergent. So print the given series is divergent. Else if absolute value of L is not infinity, not equal to infinity, and absolute value of L is not equal to indeterminate, then print the given series is convergent. If these two are not true, then we left out with only one option, else print the given series is oscillatory. This is how you have to write a command depending on the problem. Remember, in some problems we don't need this partial fraction, and we don't have to write these. So depending on the problem, you have to use these commands. Now in the next problem, see, we have been given with summation n from 1 to infinity n cube. So here your nth term is n cube. Then what is your Sn? Yes, it is u1 plus u2 etc. up to un. Give n equal to 1 here. So when n equal to 1, this becomes 1 cube. When n equal to 2, 2 cube. N equal to 3, 3 cube, etc. n cube. But we know what is 1 cube plus 2 cube, etc. up to n cube by standard formulas of mathematical induction. Yes, it is n square into n plus 1 whole square by 4. So no need to use the partial fraction here. Straight away we have used the standard formula which we are knowing, and we have written the answer. Remember, before applying the limit, if there is sum of more than one term, you have to make it into one term which is comprising of multiples or multiplication of more than one term or one term. That's it, depending on the problem. But you should not keep it, this one as a limit of n terms, and you should not apply the limit. Before that you have to simplify that, then you can apply the limit. Now we can straight away apply the limit. So if you can't do anything with this, because there is nothing in the denominator to cancel this n and to make this one as 1 by n, so that becomes 0. So straight away apply the limit. Infinity into anything is infinity. When the limit of the nth partial sum sequence is infinity, then that sequence is infinite. Hence the given series is divergent. So this series is divergent. Now let's write the maxima program. Kill all. As usual, your nth term of the given series. So what is your un? N cube. I'm writing this one as I cube. Now I haven't used partial fraction part frac command, because I don't need partial fraction. Just I need sum of this. So Sn is sum un I from 1 to n. But so once after writing this Sn, this will be stored, that is 1 cube plus 2 cube etc. up to n cube will be stored in Sn. But I want the simplified answer. So I'll use the command. Of course, you have to load the package. Here load simplify underscore sum is missing. We have to add it. Load double quote simplify underscore sum. Then your S1 is simplify underscore sum of this Sn. Then it will run. After this, the answer will be stored in S1. Now we want to apply the limit. So L stores limit of this S1 where n runs from, n goes to infinity. Now print the given series is. Now check, if absolute value of L is infinity, then print the given series is divergent. Else if absolute value of L is not equal to infinity and absolute value of L is not equal to indeterminate, then print the given series is convergent. If these two are not true, then it prints the given series is oscillating. This is how you have to test the behavior of a series. At given some exercise, you write the maxima code and also solve them manually. Now we'll execute this in maxima. As usual, we start with kill all. Then, as we discussed, we need to call the nth term of the series. Let's call this one as un 1 divided by I into I plus 1. Let me put all the things, all the terms which are in the denominator within a brace. Then after this, as we know, we have to factorize this in the first problem. So u using the command will store this answer in u using command part frac of un with respect to I, and I don't want to display this, so I'll use $sign. Then as I said, if you want to simplify, you have to use the package load simplify underscore sum package. So I don't want to display this, so I'll use $sign. Then let me sum the first n terms, and we have stored the terms in u right now. So I'll sum n terms of u where I runs from 1 to n, sum of n terms. First n terms will be stored in Sn. I don't want to display this. If you want to display this, you can use semicolon. Okay. Then let's simplify this. So using the command simplify underscore sum of Sn, right? I want to display this, so I'll use the command semicolon. Then let's factorize this using the command part frac and store this answer in S2. So we have stored the answer in S2, and of course this with respect to the variable n. We want to display this, so let's use the command semicolon. Then after this, we want to find the limit. Let's store this in L, limit of S2 where n goes up to infinity. And remember, this is your limit as n tends to infinity Sn. Your Sn, which is sum of first n terms, and it's been simplified and stored in S1, and S1 after partial fraction with respect to n is stored in S2. So this is nothing but Sn only after simplifications. Now let's print what is your given series. Print the given series is, what was your given series? Yes, it is stored in un. Okay, then print the partial fraction. What is your partial fraction? Partial fraction of the given series is, yes, it is stored in u. Okay, then put a dollar sign, then we'll verify if absolute value of limit is infinity, then yes, we have to print the given series is divergent. There are three options, so let me use else if print, okay, else if, yeah, what was your command? Else if absolute value of L is not equal to infinity and absolute value of L is not equal to indeterminate, then yes, we have to print the given series is convergent. If these two conditions are not true, then we left out with last option. So no need to check the conditions. Straight away we can write else print the given series is oscillatory. So let's terminate the loop. So after this, as usual, using Shift Enter, we'll run this. See, it takes some time for calculation. Let's see what we have done. So we have displayed where we have displayed yes here. So this is your Sn. See, sum of first n terms, I from 1 to n, 1 by I minus 1 by I plus 1. Because what we have done, your un is 1 by I into I plus 1. But we have factorized this. So what was our factorization? In general, we know that if un is 1 by n into n plus 1, it was 1 by n minus 1 by n plus 1. But here instead of n, we have used I. So it is 1 by I minus 1 by I plus 1. So your u, which is a factorization of this, that is 1 by I minus 1 by I plus 1. So what is sum of first n terms? It is summation I from 1 to n, 1 by I minus 1 by I plus 1. That was your Sn. Now it will simplify this. So that means it sums it. So what was the sum? It is n by n plus 1. But we want to factorize this, because if you keep n as it is and if you apply the limit, so this becomes infinity by infinity, which is an indeterminate. So we have to simplify this. That's why we were forced to use the command part frac. If you use partial fraction of this answer, then it will be stored in S2. That is, your S2 is 1 minus 1 by n plus 1. After this, we have applied the limit. And the limit is stored in L. See, that is your L. What was your L? 1. Then, if absolute value of 1 is infinity, no, absolute value of L is 1. So this is not infinity. Therefore, this is not true. So it will check this. Absolute value of L is not equal to infinity. Yes. Absolute value is not indeterminate. Therefore, it prints the given series is convergent. The given series is convergent. And of course, we have used two commands. The given series, print the given series is un. So it prints given series 1 by I into I plus 1. And the partial fraction of the given series is u. So partial fraction of this is 1 by I minus 1 by I plus 1. It prints both of them. That's it. This is how you have to execute. Now we'll write one more program and we'll see. I'll copy down the same thing, but I don't need all the commands for the next program. Let's paste this. What was your nth term? Yes, it is IQ. So it is I cap 3. No need of this partial fraction. We have to load simplify underscore sum just to simplify this. Here we have used un, not u. So let me change this to un. And we have to simplify that. And we have to store this. So let me store simplified answer in S1 and I don't need partial fraction. Now we'll apply the limit for this. Here it is S1, so I have to use S1, not S2. Print the given series. Yes, it will print. There is no partial fraction, so no need of partial fraction. So I'll remove this. If absolute value of L is infinity, then print this, else this condition, then print this, else last. Okay, let's see using shift enter command. Yes, see here. What was your un? I cube. So Sn is summation I from 1 to n of un, that is I cube, for sum of first n terms. It simplifies and simplified answer is stored in S1, that is n to the power of 4 plus 2n cube plus n square by 4, which is nothing but n square into n plus 1 whole square divided by 4. Then it finds the limit of this and stores in L. So your L is infinity. Then it prints the given series. What was your given series? I cube. Yes. And it checks this condition. Because the limit is infinity, the given series is divergent. This condition itself is true. Therefore, it prints this. Given series is divergent. So this is how you have to write the program to verify whether the given series is convergent or divergent or oscillatory. Thank you.